I think for me, honestly, I'd probably end up putting like a red dot on it. .8 of an inch, so I'm really happy with that. Hey guys, and welcome to Ozzie Reviews. Today I'm checking out the Henry Supreme Lever Action Rifle. This one here I've got in 300 Blackout. At the time of doing this review, it also comes in 5.56 or 223. Now, what does it come with? We've got the Henry manual. So if you want to learn how to take this down, just read the manual. I'll show you briefly in this video as well. We've also got a 10 round PMag. So we'll give you a run by of the rifle. Probably the first thing that you notice, there's no external hammer like most traditional lever action rifles have. So this is kind of a lever action rifle, but with a little bit of a modern design. Now, as I said, you've got two different calibers. So we'll start off with the barrel on this one being 300 Blackout. We've got a 1 7 inch twist. It's a 16.5 inch barrel. If you do go for the 5.56 or 223, it is 18 inches in length, and you've got a 1 8 inch twist. For the 300 Blackout, naturally the thread at the end here is threaded for 5/8 by 24. It is a free floating round blue steel barrel, and they do have a sub-moa guarantee. At the front here, we've got a front blade open sight. Now the overall length of this one is only 36.65 inches or 93 centimeters, so really compact. The weight of it, 2.9 kilos or 6.43 pounds. So, you know, once again, it's not really gonna weigh you down in the field. At the rear here, we've got a rear sight, which is fully adjustable for windage and elevation with a little hex key. We've got a hard anodized black aluminium receiver. The top here is drilled and tapped for Weaver 63B mounts. So on top I've got an MDT 20 MOA rail, some loophole PRW2 mounts, and we've got the loopholed VX3 HD 2.5 to 8x36 scope on top. Now guys, I just had to read that because this isn't my rifle. I've borrowed this and this is how they've set it up. But yeah, for me, I would definitely I'd say probably have a red dot on this, but I can see where they've gone a little bit high with the scope to still allow the open sights to be mounted there. Now they say the trigger is a match grade 4-pound trigger out of the box. It is adjustable. Now this one here from my testing is 2.5 pounds. It breaks so crisp. I have never felt such a nice trigger on a lever action rifle. I'll say that straight off the bat with this one, guys. You can adjust it very easily. The manual will show you how to do that. The bolt has a multi-lug rotating face for a positive lockup, extraction and ejection. I'll show you how to break this down in just a moment as well. We've got the internal hammer, so all the moving parts as such that you're traditionally used to with lever action rifles are sealed off from the elements. The stock here is American walnut, and you've got the diamond checkering, which is, you know, quite nice. It feels really nice in the hand. At the front, obviously, we've got a sling swivel, and at the rear, and we've got a rubber kick pad there as well. Now the safety on this is where normally you would expect the hammer, or roughly, on a traditional lever action rifle. So pretty straightforward. Just, I'll get it right here. Back for safe. Okay, you can still cycle the action and then just forward to fire. Also too, the mag release is ambi, so you know this is suitable for left-handed shooters. Now the 10 round P magazine you know, obviously is great because you get to use pretty much whatever ammunition you want to, where normally with tubular magazines in lever actions, as most of you would know, you know, you've got to be very careful about what sort of projectiles are in the ammunition you're loading, because you don't obviously want it setting off the primer of the round in front of it. So, you know, this eliminates that, so you've got a lot more freedom there. So to break it down, all you need to do is just simply pull down on the lever, and there's two takedown pins there. So you just knock them out and this will come in half. So that's it, guys. Disassembled, the two pins are out, it just pulls straight out, and then you've got clear access to the bolt. Now, I'll bring it up to the camera here. As you can see, it's very much like a AR bolt, isn't it? With that rotating lugs at the front there. Obviously, you can take the cam pin out there and remove the bolt completely for a thorough clean. Okay, so all back together again, guys. The rifle, like all Henrys, are made in the USA or not at all. That seems to be their motto. Recommended retail price here in Australia at the time of doing this review is $2,499. Shop around, you can find them a little bit cheaper. So let's get out now. I want to get on the farm, get this zeroed, and see which ammunition it takes a liking for. So I'll run through the ammo that I'll be putting through the Henry this afternoon. So we'll start off with the Hornady 110 grain VMAX. I've also got the Hornady Black, which is also loaded with 110 grain VMAX. So we'll probably see similar results, but this is what was available at the time, guys. I've also got some of the Barnes 110 grain. This is their TAC TX round. So we'll see how that goes. And then finally, we've got some Winchester 150 grain deer season ammunition. So look, this is definitely not a bench gun. So I'll shoot 3 shots there at 100. We'll just see which one the Henry favors, and then I'll zero it from there and we can have some fun. Okay, so measuring the groups here at 100, the first 3 shots with the Hornady VMAX has come in at 0.8 of an inch, so I'm really happy with that. Then we come down to the Hornady Black, which I would have expected exactly the same performance, considering it's still got that 110 grain VMAX projectile. But we've had a flyer there, so it gets measured exactly the way it is. So we're about 3 inches, so I'm pretty sure, going off those other 2 shots there, that, you know, if we shot it a bit more, it'd probably come in identical as the standard Hornady VMAX there. Then we come up to the Barnes with the 110 grain projectile also. A little bit of a flyer there, so about 1.1 inches. Then very strangely, the Winchester 150 grain. Now this is my point of aim here, and I don't know what was going on there. Normally the heavier projectile, you'd find it'd drop a lot lower, but it didn't, and it gets measured the way it is. So we've come in there at 1 inch. So, you know, the reasonable accuracy you could expect out of this rifle is a 1 inch group, so I'm pretty happy with that out of a Henry lever gun. So like any other PMag, this one is very easy to load straight through the top. Just click straight down and push around till it seats in the rear. Now I've had no issues with the magazine, however shooting the Barnes ammunition, I found that I'd sort of hit a speed bump as I was closing the action, and you just have to give it that firm bit of a push for it to close. So yeah, not as smooth as the other ammunition. But apart from that, no issues with the magazine. Nice. Okay guys, I'm going to wrap up my final thoughts on the Henry Supreme rifle. What a cool little rifle, just so much fun. I've just really enjoyed my afternoon shooting it. You know, it's so comfortable up to the shoulder because obviously, you know, 300 Blackout doesn't, you know, kick excessively. The smoothness of this lever, I tell you, like you got to go into a shop and feel this. It is just ridiculously smooth and light. I really like that. I was trying to speed up some of the shots there, you know, just to see how quick we could go with the action there. And it's just so smooth and just so nice to shoot. So I think for me, honestly, I'd probably end up putting like a red dot on it. You know, then it'd just be a real lightweight, great little scrub gun, you know, for shooting out to maybe, you know, 100 yards, maybe 50, 75 round there, you know, going after some pigs or something. Just brilliant. So what do I not like about it? Honestly guys, I can't really fault it except for that Barnes ammunition, which when loading it, you know, I'd get to the speed bump at the end and then I'd have to just really give it an extra push to, you know, chamber it. That's really the only negative. I don't really see a negative with this rifle. I like the fact that it's got an external detachable magazine because obviously you're not going to have the problems that are inherent with tubular magazines. You know, you can use whatever ammunition you want. So yeah, really happy with it. So yeah guys, I'll leave my final thoughts at that. Hope you enjoyed watching the review. Please check your subscription to me. I know I keep saying it, but YouTube keeps unsubscribing people, so please make sure you do that. Enable the bell icon and then you'll be able to get my updates. All right guys, we'll catch you on the next review.